Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel IndiaGATE. This is Nandani Sharma. In this session of Discrete Mathematics, we talk about special elements in Posets. So before starting this session, if you want new tricks, new tips and new important points with related gates, so please subscribe my channel and click on bell icon for all notification of my new videos. So let's start. Special element in Poset. So firstly, briefly introduce these elements. First one is your minimal element, second one is your maximal element, third one is your first element, it is also known as least element, and fourth one is your last element. The last element is also known as greatest element, so don't be confused in these terms. Now fifth one is your upper and lower bound element. Sixth is your least upper bound. It is also known as in short LUB, and it is also called supremum element. And come to the last element of this poset is your greatest lower bound GLB. It is also known as infimum. Now move on detail about the all elements. So maximal element, an element of poset is called maximal if it is not less than any element of the poset. That is, A is maximal in a poset S comma less than equal to if there is no B is belong to S such that A is less than B. Now move on next point. Minimal element. Minimal element of a poset is called minimal if it is not greater than any element of the poset. That in the poset S comma less than equal to if there is no B belong to S such that B is less than A. Now important point is that for maximum and minimum element are top and bottom element in the hash diagram. So it is easy to identify any maximum and minimum element from your hash diagram. Now move on, next point is your greatest element. An element in a poset that is greater than every other element in is called greatest element. That is, A is greatest element of poset S comma less than equal to if B is less than equal to A for all B is belong to S. Here important point is that greatest element is unique when it is exist. Now move on, next point is your least element. So element is also known as first element. So an element in a poset that is less than every other element is called least element. Means A is element of a poset S comma less than equal to if A is less than equal to B for all B belong to S. An important point is that least element is unique when it is exist. Now move on, next important point is that upper bound and lower bound. So an element that is greater than or equal to all element of the subset A of a poset S comma less than equal to is called upper bound of A. And come to the lower bound. An element that is less than or equal to all the elements in a subset A of a poset S less than equal to is called lower bound of A. Now move on, next point of the that is least upper bound. So the least upper bound is also known as supremum and also in short is called as LUB. So an element X is called least upper bound of the subset A if X is a upper bound that is less than every other upper bound of A. It is denoted by LUB of A. The least upper bound of subset A is unique if it is exist. And come to the greatest lower bound. So it is also called infimum. The element y is called the greatest lower bound of the subset A. If y is lower bound that is greater than every other lower bound of A, it is denoted by GLB of A. Now, important point is that the greatest lower bound of the subset A is unique if it is exist. Now, important questions with related hash diagram and also related your special element of posets are: determine whether following of the poset have greatest, least, minimal and maximal elements. So here hash diagram is already given. We just determine all special elements. So here according to the first hash diagram, the maximum element is your 27 because it is the upper and top of the hash diagram, and minimum element is your 1, and as your least element 1 and last element is your 27 means is your greatest element. Now according to the second hash diagram, 1 is your minimum element because 1 is precede to all the elements like 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So it is your minimum element, and maximum element is your 4, 6 and 5 because top of the hash diagram is your maximum element. Here least element is your also 1 because 1 is precede all type of the elements, and there is no any last element means greatest element because here 4, 6 and 5 is not go to any single point means at the above which is divisible by all type of the numbers, so it is not contains any maximum element. Now come to the third hash diagram. Here minimal elements are 2 and 3 and maximum element is 12 and 80. Fun, but your least element is your 5 because here no element is succeed 2 and 3 both, and here also greatest element is your 5 because here also no any element which succeed 12 and 81. Now come to the fourth hash diagram. So fourth hash diagram, here minimum element is A and B and maximum element is only D. Also least element is your 5 because here no element which precede A and B, and your greatest element and last element is your D. Now move on fifth hash diagram. Here least element is your A as well as it is your minimal element and your greatest. And next question is that in a poset A where S is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 and operation is upper bound GLB LUB of first B equal to 2, 7, second C equal to 1, 2, 4 and third D equal to 1, 2, 3. So solution of 1 and first is lower bound of B is 1 because 1 is element of a set A, also poset A, which precede and smallest of the set, so it is your lower bound, and upper bound of B is none means 5 because 2 is divisible by 10 but 7 is not divisible by 10, so this is contains 5 value. Now GLB means greatest lower bound of B is 1 because your lower bound is already 1, and lower least upper bound of B is 5 because upper bound of B is 5. Now come to the second. Here C equal to 1 to 4. So lower bound is your 1 and upper bound is your 4 and 8 because 2 and 4 is also divisible by 4 and 8, and greatest lower bound is your 1, and LUB of the C is 4 because it is your least upper bound, and here it is your 4 which is the minimum of 8. Now come to the D. D is 1 to 6. So lower bound of D is 1 and upper bound of D is 6 because 6 is divisible by 2 and 3 both, and also 1, and GLB of D is also 1 basis of the LUB, and LUB of the D is 6. It is. Now move on next. Find the LB UB of A 2, 3 and B 4, 6, also GLB and ULB. So according to given hash diagram, here LB for A is 5 because here 2 and 3 is not succeed by 1, but 3 is not succeed by 1, so it is not contain any lower bound, means it is null contains, and UB of the lower bound is your 5, 4, 7 and 8 because 2 and 3 is succeed to your 4, 5 and 7, and it is also succeed by your 8. So this is your upper bound, and GLB of A is always 5 because the lower bound is also 5, and least upper bound of A is your 4 because 4 is contains 4, 6 element. So lower bound of B is your 1 because here 1 is succeed your 4 as well as your 6, and upper bound of the B is your 8 because 8 is the greatest element of the given hash diagram. And come to the GLB. GLB is also your 1 because your LB is your 1, and LUB is 8 because your UB is 8. So this session is end here. I hope you understand all the points. Thank you for watching.